it's rather unfortunate we couldn't continue with our live streaming session, so we have to, whichever way it is, we are going to bring you the communication. Nothing can stop us from bringing the communication. Uh, the first 30 minutes was going well. All of a sudden, when we started talking about the elite, zombies, and all those things, and now the event, they are trying to control the way we think. The network is disrupted, and it's affecting the way we're transmitting. So basically, we're going to continue from where we stopped. But before that, I will just give a little bit of a intro in order to help those who would pick this video without watching the about 29 minutes live streaming that we did from the beginning. Yes, I can number of him now, but down the palm penocre. They always want to control the masses, and then but we still keep our fire up, we keep our fire burning. So we are talking basically about the benefit of living by intuition, and we talked about the fact that intuition is everything that we need, and most of the curriculums we run in our school and our school systems that does not give us the opportunity and the skill and the ability to be able to develop our intuition. And intuition, as we said in the 25 minutes live stream session, is basically going in and learning from inside, going in and taking directions from it, going in and taking tutelage from inside. And we said that it comes from two words: in and tuition. Okay, tuition means to teach or to receive teachings or to receive instructions. And we know what in means is to direct your attention back within. So intuition simply means that to go within yourself to receive directions, to receive tutelage, to receive instructions. About what? About whatever you are thinking about, whatever you desire, and whatever you want to fulfill in life. You must do so through intuition. So basically, it is something that, under normal circumstance, every educational institution should make it an integral part of the curriculum. So every institution should have a personality development program inculcated to the regular curriculum, so as through the personality development we will be able to develop this our mind capacity, and to be able to develop our emotional intelligence, to be receptive to inner teachings, not only outer teachings. But the outer teachings so program us to function in an wholesale way. So for instance, if we are 35 people in a class, and we all follow the teachings of the teacher, at the end of the day we will all be programmed to think the same way, all 35 people. But you cannot tell me this is how God intended our universe to be, because God made each and every so peculiar and unique. That is why there are no two fingerprints that looks the same. There are no two fingerprints that looks the same. So we have no right to wholesale people by the way they think. No, it's not right to do that. They use one cap fit all type of curriculum to kind of bring people up. And that is the problem we are having. That we are using one cap fit all principle. And the schools does not train us to be independent in our thinking and independent in our emotions. So when we begin to talk in this line, well, before we started, I told you once we begin say these things, then you become a threat to the intelligences that control the system. And not long after, the network started all those things, and we were unable to transmit. Because the system does not want you to know. If there's anything, listen, if there's anything in this life that the system does not want you to know, it is the ability to be receptive to your inner teacher. Because once you are receptive to your inner teacher, or the divine within, the master within, the Christ within, nobody can control you. Nobody can program you. You can never become a zombie to them. You can never become their puppet. The divine is inside, the Christ is inside. And that is where we have to go in and receive our tuition. And when you're able to do that, it saves you in so many ways, in so many situations. And as I tell you, I am saying, I'm reiterating it again, that I'm telling you nothing but the truth. All the truth I'm telling you. That if there's one thing you need most in your life, it has to be the ability to be able to go inside and receive tuition from Christ within, the divine within. All these externalized Christ things they're talking about, dying on the cross, it's all neither here nor there. It's all an illusion. It's a lie. Christ has never been on the cross. Because Christ has always been here. Jesus was on the cross, but not Christ. Well, there's a clear distinction between Jesus and the Christ. And I don't know why we miss all these two. Jesus was on the cross. Christ was never nailed to the cross. Christ never tasted of death, because it is the incorruptible seed of the divine. So it was never nailed to the cross. He never died on the cross. And it was the Christ that left Jesus whilst on the cross that he said, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" And theology tells you that it is God he's talking about. It's the Christ. Because Jesus' God is the Christ. That's the Bible said that to whom shall receive this revelation. Colossians chapter 1. It said, to whom shall receive this revelation, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. So the Christ has never been nailed to the cross, and he never tasted of death. Christ has always been here. And is the only true, authentic teacher that we need to receive our tuition from. And to be able to receive tuition from that inner master, the inner Christ, you must be able to be receptive. And the ability to be receptive is what we call intuition. The ability to be receptive to inner teachings and inner directions and inner dictates and inner guidance is what we call intuition. And this is what is killing majority of people. This is what the majority of people don't know. They are not aware of, and it is killing them. But once you become aware and you become receptive to this gift of life, to this gift of the Spirit, to this gift of awareness, you will see that you become a new creation. All the old things that you have been programmed like a zombie would go away, will pass away, and behold, everything will become new. That is when you are in Christ, all things has passed away. Behold, all things has become new. Why are all things passed away? All things are passed away because now that you are in Christ, you receive the tuition from Christ. You don't receive the tuition from the world. So you don't receive external tuition or out tuition, permit me to use that word, but you receive intuition from the Christ. Because the Christ is not without, the Christ is within. So when you're able to realize this Christ, accepting Christ simply means coming to the realization of who, what, and where Christ is. That is acceptance of Christ. Coming to that awareness that Christ lives in you, and you want to depend on that Christ inside you. You don't want to depend on any other thing again but the Christ essence, which is your divine essence, which is your divine right. And to be able to depend on the Christ essence, you need to develop the ability to be receptive to his teachings. And the ability to be receptive to his teachings is what you we call intuition. Going in and listening to what that divine will teach you, will instruct you, will direct you. So this is what you're supposed to, and it's listen, I cannot tell you how much this thing is priceless. I'm telling you, if you meet anybody in this life that can aid you to develop your personality, to be receptive to intuitive information, if the person tells you to sell everything that you have for it, do so. You would understand. But I would advise you to do so. If you are losing everything to get this intuition, do so. Because when you are done with receiving this intuition and you really practice to harness the energy, all that you lost, you get it in no time. We lost everything in our search for this knowledge. We lost everything in our search for this knowledge. And I can tell you, all that we sweat for a lifetime to acquire that we lost, we're able to build it up and more, times 3, times 4, less than half a decade, less than 5 years. So I am speaking from the very essence of what I believe in, what I have experienced, and what I've put to practice that has worked without fail. Because when you develop the ability to listen to your intuition, nothing would make you fail in any way. And not only about life, but it even goes beyond this material life. And in times of trouble where you err, it will still redeem you. And I'm speaking with passion because just this Sunday, this thing I am talking about saved my life. And if it is not for the fact of the divine ability that was communicated through the divine grace, that was communicated through the intuitive faculty, I would not be alive to talk to you today. And I am not surprised at the last minute, but I wanted to talk about prayer, but at the last minute they told me to talk about intuition. Because it is synonymous to what happened just this Sunday. If it's not for the gift of intuition and to be receptive, I would not be alive to talk to you. So I know what I am. I know the treasure that I'm talking to you about. It saved my life. That in the midst of the time that I was dying, I was still receiving intuitive information. And that intuitive direction that I received saved my life in the middle of death. I give God the glory. I give all the angels, the deities, the entities, every being that contributed and spoke to me in the middle of death. I thank them. But I'm telling you something which is true. And that is why when we began, I read the Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, which says that this day I put before the life and death, good and evil, right and wrong, but to choose life. Because I'm not telling. He said he calls the heavens and the earth to bear witness. And I was calling the heavens and the earth to bear witness that today I want to share with you something that is a lifesaver, something that will transform your life forever. And you have to do everything to get it. everything to get it. And wherever you are, whatever you do, and whoever you deal with, this thing is going to save your life. It's going to make you know the fake people. Because when you're intuitively connected, you just meet people and they talk, you begin to hear, don't forget about this guy, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do engagement. When people bring you business partners, listen, you don't make the mistakes. And even when you make the mistakes, they rectify it for you. A lot of people go and do business partnership with people, they lose their money. Some people go in for loan, they enter into business, they lose the money, loan officers are hustling them and they have to work and pay for the loan. People get into business investment with all their life and savings and they lose everything because they don't have inner intuition. They don't have intuition. Intuitive guidance. People are losing their marriages because as the time things are unfolding, they don't receive the inner intuition that this is how this is going to end. Stop it. Don't do it. It's not the right thing to do. And after time, they lose their relationship. They lose their boyfriends. They lose their wives. They lose their husbands. They lose their kids. They lose their best friends because they don't develop the intuition. For them to know that what they are doing will create a problem. If you know the magnitude of what I'm telling you, you would do everything to have it. The Bible says that Jesus made a parable. He said a man was in search of a treasure. What treasure is it? They didn't tell you that treasure. But they said that Jesus made a scenario. He said that a man was in search of a treasure. He finds the treasure on a field. He covers the treasure and goes to sell everything he has to come and buy that field. What treasure? What is that treasure? That the Bible was referring to, that Jesus says that a man is in search of treasure. And when he finds that treasure, he covers that treasure and goes to sell everything that he has to come and buy the field that contains the treasure. Because he knew that the treasure, whatever he has lost, when he get the treasure, he would get everything back. What is that field? It's your energy field. That field, you're talking about your energy field. And what is your treasure? Your ability to receive intuition within your energy field. Your emotion is your energy field. The treasure in your emotion is your receptivity of thought. So the treasure is your emotional field. The field. Bible just got he hid it in the field and goes to sell everything and to buy the field. That field is your emotional field. Your emotional force, the emotional frequency, energy area. And the treasure is talking about is your thought frequency that you receive through intuition. And so it goes to sell everything to come and buy that field, knowing very well that whatever he gets from that field can buy everything he is lost over and over and over again. As I told you, the Bible is written in codes. They are metaphysical. So you must understand it that way. So you need to develop your intuition. Because the intuition is the only way that clears all doubts, gives you tranquility, and gives you clarity in everything that you do. For 2 weeks, I've been receiving intuitive information with regards to electric shock. I'm telling you what I'm saying, what I was saying before. For 2 weeks, I was receiving intuitive direction as to electric shock. I didn't pay attention. When it comes, I ignore because I have no reason to talk about it. So anytime it comes, I ignore. Then this Sunday, the rain was falling in our casual vicinity. Even so, I said I was going to do rain bathing. So we walk in the rain, praying with the magnetic energy of the rain. As I walked in the rain, I still picked the intuition. Isuo is electric shock. I ignored it. So me, electric to me shocking me, electric to me. So after I am done, I said I was going to the room. So I couldn't have passed the living room, so I had wanted to pass through the kitchen door. Even the kitchen door was locked. It was the exit door at the back that was open. Now, as I passed by where I had my water pump, that pumps the water into the house, because where I am is a new site, so we don't have regular Ghana water. So we use mechanized borehole. I saw that the pumping machine was the bugger-proof that protected the pumping machine was open. So I went to close the bugger-proof so that I cover it with the slate so that the water does not enter to the bugger-proof. The bugger-proof has nothing to do with electricity. So for me, I'm going with a climber. It's just like you have your gate open and you want to go and close your gate. Only to realize that your technician has placed the gate light wire on the gate. How would you know? For all this, that was the intuition I've been picking for almost 2 weeks before the whole incident took place. That morning, the plumber came to fix we serviced the pumping machine. We came to refix it back again. And in the process of fixing it, the electric cable that connected the pumping machine to the main power unit, which is about 20 amps power, he put the cable, hook it to the bugger-proof. So the bugger-proof was electrocuted. I didn't know. For me, I know it's bugger-proof. It has nothing to do. The bugger-proof had nothing to do with electricity, but the cable runs through down and doesn't touch the bugger-proof in any way. My dear sisters and brothers, as I touched the bugger-proof, wet in the rain, without slippers, and the rain was still falling heavily on me, I got myself electrocuted. You wouldn't understand. And there was nobody outside to redeem me. My wife and my family, everybody was in the room, and the sliding glasses were locked. My bedroom is at the extreme back side. They just came from church. My kids were in the hall, and they were watching television. My niece was in her bedroom at the extreme backside of the building, and I was shouting and nobody was hearing me, and because the rain was falling too and all the sliding glasses were locked. Do you know what saved me? My intuition. I was electrocuted, and I was stuck. It wasn't a shock. Understand what I wasn't shocked by the electricity. When I say electrocuted, I was magnetized, and I was holding on to the bugger-proof of the pumping machine bugger-proof. I was stuck to it. I was holding. I couldn't free my hand, and power was running through me. 20 amps volt, 20 amps power current that could move a motor, not socket, not plug. 20 amps current that runs a pumping machine was moving through me. I was barefoot, standing in water. The rain was still falling heavily on me, and I was trapped. And you know electricity in water. So as I kept shouting, and nobody was hearing me, then I heard a voice within myself. Stop depending on external help and depend on God, internal help. So when I tell you about intuition and the ability to be receptive to inner tuition and direction, you won't understand, but I know what I am telling you. I am sharing this one because this is the latest one. If I want to share my experiences, plenty, we will not close this session. So I heard the voice, I heard a voice through my intuition that stop depending on the external help and depend on God, which is your internal God, for help. Then I switched my thoughts. I was still electrocuted. Don't forget. The power was still shaking me. But instantly, even in the midst of death, as I walked through the valleys and the shadows of death, He is with me. That's what the Bible said. Even though we walk through the valleys and the shadows of death, you fear no evil because He is with you. So even I was in the valleys and the shadows of death, that I was electrocuted, He was still communicating through my intuition. Thank God, my intuitive faculty is very sharp because of many years of practice. So in the midst of danger, where anybody will be disorganized and be trapped with fear, I maintain my composure of connectivity to my intuitive receptivity, and I receive the information. Stop depending on outside for help, rather depend on God within for help. Then I instantly, within a microsecond, I switched my attention, and before I was shouting, this is how it felt like. When I was shouting for help, it was like a magnet in an endless pit, okay? Which is, it's like a magnet was pulling my soul into a pit that was dark. It was like I was being drawn into that, and there was nothing I could do. The force that was drawing me was very powerful. And I could see myself, not the body, but I could see my essence, the soul, trying to move out into this endless pit of darkness. But within that, when I received the intuition that stop depending on external help and rather depend on God within for your help, and I switched my thought, that energy that was pulling me inside, that endless, bottomless, dark hole, cut off. When it cut off, then I realized that my consciousness raised. When my consciousness raised, now I could feel my entire body was okay, but my right hand was electrocuted because it was still holding the burglar proof. Then what I saw was that, so still I forgot about everything in the house, forgot about everybody in the house. It's me, my God, and what is happening. So as I maintained my composure inside, I felt that there was a huge energy that rose in my entire body to my shoulder, and my consciousness rose above the vibration of the electric current, and I could see the energy of the electric current running like fire on my hands. Now that's what happened. As it runs from my hand, it gets to my shoulder, it cannot penetrate, then it returns back to my palm. Then it moves from my palm back to my shoulder, and it returns back to my palm. But I could feel enormous energy in my body that kind of resists the power from running through my body. And that it so happened for some time. Then all of a sudden I realized that I was released. When I was released, well, I wasn't scared. I felt my body was normal. I just went through the back door, called my wife, that, oh, this is what has happened. And she didn't even believe it when I was saying it, because it was like, you look, you are standing here, you are telling me you have electric shock. You are not electric shock, you are electrocuted. What shows on you? So I told him to get my towel from my bedroom. So he brought my towel. I was cleaning myself. Then I noticed she didn't believe what I was saying. Then I told her that no. So she should open the main power unit. We have a main power unit, so that we put off the socket, because I was scared my dog may go there. I had 2 dogs, so I was scared any of them could go there. And when the dog goes there, the dog will be electrocuted and the dog will die. So that because of my kids, the family, everybody was inside. Now I knew there was a danger outside. I would have prevented from going there. But now my heart was with the dogs. And I didn't want to lose the dogs, because they are also souls. I need to protect them. Just like I will protect my kids, I need to protect the dogs. So I told my wife that for the sake of the dogs, let's just put the whole place out. The whole power unit that controls the pumping machine out. So that when the rain stops, I'll call the electricians to come and fix it. Now this is where she got alarmed. She realized that I almost died. When she opened the circuit box, the power, the switch that controlled the pumping machine was off. Who put it off? Nobody knows. Now that switch is a we call it security measure, so that if there's any electric shock, you go and put it off. It cannot go off until somebody pulls it off. But when she opened it, and she knows that somebody has to put it off in terms of danger. But when she opened, that thing was off, and nobody has touched it. The light was on, the thing was closed, and everything. The indicators to show the various phases, and we are using 3-phase meter. Everything was on, but when she opened the cabinet, the switch was off, and that was when she became alarmed. That, hey, so my husband almost died. That was like, hey, honey, Uncle, we make okay, me pay no na ka oda abontina wahyehe. That's when she became alarmed. She started calling my friends, calling my mother, calling people that, hey, this is what has happened, oh God. She said only 2 things. They say, for the grace that was on you, you are alive. And for the fact that you have not finished your assignment, that is why you are alive. That's also what my wife said. Looking at the magnitude and knowing that particular voltage source, the current was high. My electrician came and everything. So for me, I didn't even know how come the whole thing got electrocuted. So I didn't really want to think about it. It was when the rain was over, when my electrician came, and he was the one who found out that the plumber, whilst he wanted to cut the wire, pulled out, when he wanted to cut the pipe, and he felt that the water would enter into the electric wire area. So he pulled out the wire and then tied it to the lower part of the bugger proof to prevent the water when it cuts the pump, the reservoir tank, the water shouldn't go to the wire. So when he cut it and then fixed the pumping machine, he forgot to release the wire that he used to tie the bugger proof at a place that nobody could see. So when the electrician saw it and he called me, Daddy, Beshade, they are plumber now. This is why the bugger proof was electrocuted. This is what happened just this Sunday. And if it's not the fact that I had the ability to listen to inner direction, but at that time it was only me, myself, death, and God. Nothing could save me in the external world. And I always say that I thank God when I was shouting, they didn't hear me, because if they had come out, they would have rushed to rescue me, because they are very knowledgeable about electricity. And as I was electrocuted, all the water around me was electrocuted. And anybody that would have stepped in that water would be electrocuted as well. So probably that is why quickly the intuition switch, give me the instruction, give me the inner direction that stopped the shouting outside and rather focus on the God within to save you. So that the whole household will be saved. My wife said that if not for the grace that you have, and that for the fact that you have not finished your assignment on earth, you will be gone. And the third thing she said was that, should that have happened to any other person, the person would have died. So the electrician came and he was shocked. He was just there, he couldn't talk, he was speechless. He said, Daddy, this thing, I don't know what to say, but this is not normal. And he told me that his boss, one of his boss that taught him work, the same 20 amps power ran through his system. He has paralyzed and is a stroke patient up to today. So when he said that, I went to the internet to go and Google about being electrocuted by 20, and it is stated that when the power of 20 amps and above runs through your system, you'll be paralyzed. But yeah, I didn't feel it. Even that same day, just about 1 hour later, I drove with Abraham to go and buy gas because my gas was finished. But what I noticed was that the power was running. When I changed my thoughts, because when I was shouting, I was struggling, like I wanted to save my soul from entering to that dark pit. But the moment I had the intuition, switch your attention from the external help to God within for help, and I switched my thought. That struggle stopped, and I was relaxed. So now I was watching the power. When the power comes, it gets to my shoulder. I couldn't enter into my body, then it will return back. The power comes, get to my shoulder, I cannot enter into my body, then return back. My teacher who taught me metaphysics, I called him and said, look, he's an electrical engineer. He said if the 20 amps power, if he had entered into your body, you to shut your heart down, clot your blood instantly. And he said, look, this thing, don't take it for granted. So quickly he told me to go and do Saraka, get 7 people, give them some amount of money. You see, so when you depend on your intuition, you can't tell what it's going to do for you. And that's why Jesus Christ, you go to sell all the treasure that you have to come and buy that field. To come and buy that field, your emotional field, with the buried intuitive capacity of thought. Because this thing will save you in every phase of your life. Under extreme circumstance, I have seen people give testimony where they are kidnappers. People have kidnapped them and then they hear a voice, do this, they do that, and they escape. There's so many testimonies. And even with yourself, you can bear witness that under extreme circumstances, most of the things that saved you, when all hope is gone and everything is gone, you hear a still small voice directing you to do something. You apply that thing and it works. Now this thing is doing so, but now we are saying you have to practice to be able to use it at will. That even in that extreme, where you are between life and death, you can still hear and listen, apply, and you are redeemed. For 2 weeks, the information kept coming back. I kept ignoring. That is the human aspect of us, or all of us. And anytime I receive intuition and I ignore it, there is a problem. I've always said this thing. Those who have followed my teachings on intuition will tell you. I kept saying it, that anytime I receive an intuitive direction and I ignore it, the next thing I face is trouble. Because the essence, which is the Christ, the Spirit, knows what is ahead. It's omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. It knows all things, is aware of all things, is everywhere, and has all power. He knows everything. So when He gives you the direction and you disobey, the next thing is that you go and face the thing that for which He was giving you direction about. So you must live your life with an intuitive direction. That's the only way you'll be saved. And that's the reason why the intelligences that control the system doesn't want you to develop that aspect of your personality. And that's why I have dedicated the person. It's not this situation that maybe but this situation is just a testimony, a further testimony of reassuring me that what I am teaching the people is the real thing. Because everything I teach about personality development is about learning to pay attention, learning to our intuition. Then later on, the prayer aspect of it come in. But the first course to the personality, which is the model 1, is all about developing your intuition. That is learning to pay attention, learning to harness your emotional intelligence, learn to pay attention to your emotion, become aware of your emotion, so that you become sensitive to your environment, to be able to receive inner information to control your environment. That's the first phase of everything that we need. And that is the foundation to the progress of everything we're going to do, whether in terms of monetary activities or relationship or marriage or business or friendship or whatever health issues. This is the basis to it. So you must develop your intuitive capacity. So what is intuition? This is how I put the definition of intuition. I'll give you a general definition of intuition, but this is how I put it. I said that intuitions are informative messages and guidance received from advanced intelligences to assist the soul on its evolutionary journey on earth. So intuition is informative messages and guidance that we receive from advanced intelligence. When it's advanced intelligence, like angelic intelligences, the Christ essence and all those, ascendant essence and all those, they are all advanced intelligence. And they communicate through us to receive those guidance as our soul journeys in its evolution through this earth. And that is all that you need. That's all that you need to receive that message from advanced intelligences. I always ask a question. The first person to write physics books, the first person to write a physics book, the first person to write a biology book, the first person to write mathematics book, the first person to document the Bible, any text of any spiritual text, be it the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, the Quran, the Holy Scriptures, the Torah, and all those things. Those people, what did they read? How did they receive the information before they documented? That is what I am telling you. How they received those information. The first person who wrote the physics book, the first person who wrote the biology book, the first person who wrote the chemistry book, the first person that wrote any spiritual manuscript, be the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas, and all those books. The first people who wrote them. How they got the message is what I am telling you. They got the message intuitively. And it is still ongoing. Like most of the message I preach to you, I get it through intuition. The direction, the quotation, so that with the quotation will drop into my head, I go and search, quotation drop and then I put them down, then that will become the basis to set my premise. I have told you the truth. I have told you what you really need to survive and to make it big in this lifetime. Whichever way you will find help to develop this ability within yourself, because that is the gold mine, that is the treasure. Because the only way we can live a comfortable life is to be able to connect to that higher intelligences we came from. And because then they hold a blueprint to guide us through our earthly journey. What to do and what not to do, where to go and where not to go, who to be with and who not to be with. Certain friends you have, they are there to destroy you. They act as they love you, but inside them, they jealous you. And they wish your businesses never prosper because their business is not prospering. They wish that what you do fail because they've not been able to do it. They wish that you lose your car because they don't have a car. They wish that you lose your husband because they are not having good husbands. They wish that you lose your kids go wayward because their kids are wayward. There are a lot of people around you who are sycophants. There are a lot of people around you who are bootlickers. And you should have divine intelligent directions in order to decipher and to sieve out all these people and know how to manage them. You're not saying you sack them. Me, I don't sack friends, I don't sack people around me. But I receive intuition on how to manage you. But in as much as you may have a bad feeling about me, there's a part of you which is good, which I would need that service. So I would manage you. This is intelligence. So, nyaka, mpamunipa. Because every bad person has a good trait. You need a good trait, but you manage the bad traits. That is intelligent. This is how intuitive people function. You just don't drive people away because you find a bad trait. There's always a good trait. So what I'm for no you why they wait my child them because he knows them. Woman the time and I be you are then only operation or so every bad trait has a good side of it. So you must try to manage your intuition. And it is a must acquired skill if you want to be successful. And I'm telling you again and again, please listen to me well. I'm telling you again and again and again and again that the only reason why you are suffering with your business, the only reason why you are suffering with your marriages, the only reason why you are suffering with your kids and friendship and partnership and all those things is because you've lost touch with your intuitive capacity to be receptive to inner directions. You're always dependent on people's ideas, what people have done, people's concepts, people's ideologies. You don't have authentic information coming from within yourself. You don't have authentic direction coming from your source. You don't have authentic tutelage coming from the source. All you are dependent on is second-hand information. Learn to go inside. Learn to pay attention. Because all these informations you receive from the higher dimensions, to the senses, they see it as curiosity. But to the higher personality, they see it as inner direction coming from advanced intelligences. And you have to know the difference. You should be able to walk to your office and receive information. No, don't do this, stop that, do that, don't do this, do that, do that. You must learn to pay attention. You must learn to pay attention. And that is the truth I'm telling you. You must learn to pay attention. To what? To your intuition. Now, let's look at a few steps that I'm putting down, okay, that will help you. As I told you, I cannot do everything here. This, to develop your intuition, is a whole curriculum, it's a whole school. You need to go through a step-by-step procedure, and then gradually develop it. Within 3 to 4 months, you should be able to begin to see and be able to be receptive, to feel pick the signals coming through. And most of the people that are doing the personality class who are about to finish the current video, but most of them are now using it. Don't do this, do that. No, stop it. Do that. Don't say it. Keep quiet. Negotiation. And these things are even good for people who are at the managerial position, who goes to engagement, goes to do business engagement, goes to do business negotiations, go to do presentations, go to pitch for businesses, for loans, for capital. These things are good, for people at the managerial level and are at CEOs. Because that is what will make you distinct. A CEO is very advanced. And that is why most of these CEOs of big companies, organizations, tend to join certain fraternities. And because most of these fraternities tend to add some of these teachings to their regular way of life. The church is not giving us the knowledge that would develop our person to realize our fullness in God. Everything about the church, believe, no knowledge, no personal development, nothing. But God, we're created in the image, that is the personality, and the likeness, that is the attributes of God. And this likeness and this attribute must be developed. Because we fell, we detach. The falling means to detach. There's Adamic sin, Adamic sin that Adam fell. The whole thing is that Adam was detached from the intuitive connection with divinity. That was all. Adam was detached because that which made him constantly connected, which is the intuition, was broken. And he was detached. And because he was detached, God has to force this communication through. That even when the communication was coming, they said Adam was hiding because he was detached. So instead of the ecstasy going this way, it started going that way. So instead of being this way, it turned to this way. And that was all. That's detachment, breaking away. So there was no intuitive connectivity. Now, I'll bring our session to a closure because I think I've told you everything honestly that I need to tell you. It's not the too much that I'm going to talk that is going to make you take it. When you take it, it's good for you. You see the difference and you get the benefit and you pass it on to your children. My kids, they all know everything starts from the mind. Beyond the mind is all spiritual, transcendental matter, which you have to go through different things. But at least develop your personality from the mind, emotions, senses. They don't get into my mind. That's all they need for this material world. So, I'll give you just brief steps. You can put it to practice. But as I told you, I cannot give you everything. But for those who are participating in the personality development class, they are going through step by step. And by the time you get it, you'll be free. Just like now, I'm free from all these pastoral influences and bishop influences and then prophetic influences and all those people, and they will want to find a way to exploit you, and you would be free. Oh, babe, I'm telling you what I've experienced. I'm telling you what I know. You'll be free. At least to some extent that you will not be exploited. And when you see somebody want to exploit you, know that this person wants to exploit you. Now, how do you harness your intuition? How do you harness your intuition? And I'm going to give you about basically 5 to 6 main points that will guide you in your process. But also, these are just general points. The nitty-gritties I cannot teach. Yeah, it's going to take, because this is a whole course that's supposed to take about 3 to 4 months to be able to go through and to be able to master it. 1, you must become aware of your feelings. That is 1. You must become. People think they are aware of their feelings, but as I told you, most of the feelings you have is not your own feelings. It is emotional dependency. You think you have feelings, you have emotions, but you don't have emotions. Your emotions are dependent. You're unable to create your own energy field, because your emotions is your force field, is your energy field, and your thought is the intuitive treasure that runs that your energy field. And you think you have emotions, but the truth of the matter is that you don't have emotions. Your emotions are programmed by your environment, because your emotions does not come from within. They are triggered by external factors. So you don't have emotions. You don't have emotions. Your emotions are emotional dependent or emotional dependency. You don't have it. So if you want to begin to really and really harness your intuition, you must be aware of your emotions and pay attention to your thoughts. You must be aware of your emotion and learn to pay attention to your thoughts. That is why when I read an article by the Microsoft man, what's his name? No, Microsoft. Why are you sleeping? Bill Gates. When I watch I read a document about Bill Gates. He said the only reason why he does meditation is to learn to pay attention to his thought, to distance himself from his thought and pay attention to his thought. And he said by so doing, he is able to pay attention to details, and he realizes how much things are passing by that he's unable to observe. But meditation gives an opportunity to do that. So as a point number 1 is to be aware of your emotions and to be able to pay attention to your thoughts. How do you pay attention and how do you become aware of your emotion? It's a training you go through. But I'm giving you the clue. If there is anybody who can teach you to pay attention to your thoughts and to be aware of your emotions, that your emotion is not on autopilot by responding to external happenings, but now you generate that energy field, because it is out of your emotions that things are manifesting. Your emotions are your energy field that is determining things that are manifesting in your life. So you need to guard it and be aware of it to be able to control that energy field. Now, I said that everything in the universe is responding to your thoughts and emotion. The entire universe. The universe doesn't understand all this language you speak. All these long prayers you make. That's why answers are not coming. The universe does not understand these things. What the universe understands is the vibration of your thought, the frequency of your thought, and the vibrations of your emotions. When put in a balance, will result the functionalities of your senses that leads to manifestation. So you must be aware, because everything in the universe is responding to your thought and to your emotions. 2, you must learn to practice constant emotional cleansing at all times. You must learn to always purge your emotions. Just as we do physical cleansing to get rid of toxins in our system, so you must do emotional cleansing to get rid of emotional toxins. Because when your emotions are cleared and there are no toxins in your emotion, naturally intuition begin to flow naturally. Because the intuition, you don't create them; it's an energy which is flowing. The difference is that because of the toxicity of your emotions, thought, and feelings, you're unable to connect to that flow of current of knowledge which is passing through, which is everywhere in the universe. Everywhere there is knowledge, everywhere there is electromagnetic frequency. And this electromagnetic frequency, which is running everywhere, sustaining all creation, is all filled with intelligence and filled with knowledge, filled with invention and innovations. So you must engage yourself in a practice which is constantly cleansing your emotions at all times, so that there will not be any blockage in your emotional field to become impediment to the flow of the cosmic knowledge or cosmic intelligence. Then you must also engage in consistent nutritional cleansing. All these things are taught in our personality development class. Anybody that has participated in it, you can ask. Everything is taught in detail in our personality development. Nutritional cleansing, certain food you have to eat to do cleansing, and whatever you need to do, you go through all of them. You must go through nutritional cleansing program consistently. Because to be physically toxic, it affects your receptivity to intuitive directions. To be physically toxic. That's why when somebody is sick, to me, the intellect is not well organized and the emotions are not well organized. So when somebody is not feeling well, and when you're not feeling, most of the sicknesses or the disease that we experience in our life are a build up of toxins in our blood, in our system. That makes us uncomfortable. We call it dis-ease, not being at ease. This is build up of toxins. That is why anybody that does cleansing, that purging and all those is, and your system is always free, you hardly get sick. So you must always try to get toxins from your system. And it has to be a consistent thing. If it's every 3 months, it has to be a lifetime practice. Always making sure that you clear toxins from your system. And that's why most of the time, sometimes they say 21 days fasting. All the fasting clears toxins from your system. So when you fast about 3 days and then the toxins are cleared out of your system, you say begin to receive visions and begin to receive informations. So we call waiting. After 3 days, so down also no dreams or visions and everything. Simply because why 3 days fasting, the toxins in the system is cleansed. And because he has stayed off the public and is not having interaction with the physical world, his emotion is being detoxified. 4, you must learn to honor after you've cleansed yourself emotionally and cleanse yourself physically, that is nutritionally. Because when the cleansing is done both emotionally and nutritionally and psychologically, the intuition begins to flow, because the intuition is already, the knowledge is already there, but it is just that you are not receptive because of the toxins in your system. So when you go through the program that helps you, or any program that helps you to go through detox, both emotionally, psychologically, and physically or nutritionally, and your system is very clean and your aura becomes pure, you begin to become receptive and you are tapping to the inner frequencies of intelligence that are flowing within the cosmos. Because it has always been there, just that you are not receptive to it. And you cleansing, I feel information, but it has always been there. Our universe is run with intelligence. Every thought, every vibration, every frequency, everything is there. It's in particles of intelligences. They are always been there, and they are always, and they would always be there. And this is what the intelligences doesn't want you to know. After you have done these two, the three, the emotional, psychological, and physical cleansing, honor inner guidance that you receive after cleansing. After cleansing, any inner guidance you receive, try to honor it, try to obey it. Because physical, emotional, and thought cleansing leads to expanded intuition. When you cleanse yourself emotionally, physically, and psychologically or thought-wise, what happens is that your ability to be receptive to informations intuitively begins to expand, because your intuition, you have more expanded consciousness, and the more you have expanded consciousness, the more your intuition begins to expand. You must also learn to hear your intuition and act accordingly. So it's always that has to do with paying attention, and there is a way we teach you to pay attention. As also I cannot say this is a very 2 hour maximum 2 hour video. Okay, so you must learn to pay attention. You must learn the act of paying attention, listening to yourself, and you hear it loud and clear, as if Obina or Tojina or the Wakasa, you hear it loud and clear. Everybody has the ability to do this. All you need is a good mentor and a good coach to take you through it. Everybody has that ability there. As long as you draw in the breath and you draw out breath, you draw in breath and you draw out breath, you have the ability to do that. Irrespective whether you are a lunatic, you are what, you are a cripple, you are what, you are whatever you are, once you draw in this oxygen and draw out carbon dioxide, you have the ability to be able to expand your consciousness and to be able to hear your intuition. So you must learn to hear your intuition and act accordingly. As I told you that anytime I hear the intuition and I don't act, problem comes. Sometimes you are a human being. There are many times I hear the intuition. I told you 2 weeks before Sunday, all these informations were coming, I was ignoring them. Sometimes you are human. And that is why you are a man of God. You are a man before attaining your godhoodness. So sometimes you're subject to fallibility. That makes it even more beautiful, because then it makes you have more experiences. Sometimes some of these things happen so that it will reassure you and give you more confidence that yes, there are energies with you. I tell you that this has given me more confidence of what I am doing, because I knew I experienced the timeline between life and death when I was younger, when I was clinically declared dead by Children's Hospital. That was young. I didn't have too much, but this is real time in my fullness of my maturity. Between the slender between life and death, what I have been practicing redeem my life. So it gives me more confidence, because people have gone through lesser situations and they are dead. 5. Always allow a sense of self-openness and orientation of receptivity. Always allow a sense of self-openness. Be open to the universe. Be open to the universe. And you should be receptive towards life and the universe. Always be open and receptive. Let me put it simple. Always be open and receptive to life and the universe. Well, God communicates to us, through us, and as us by the universe and through life. That's the life itself is a teacher. It's been transmitting a lot of information, but you are unreceptive to it. All the time when I'm working with my friends and things happen, I say, do you know why this happened? They'll say no, I'll say yes, this and this. Because as I work and this happen, they interpret it to me. This is why this is. You see why this girl did that is because of this. Every time when I work, unless an incident does not happen that catches my attention, once it catches my attention, they give me interpretation. And it is the birthright of everybody to operate. This is how God, the Creator, wants us to operate. To be constantly in contact with Him through our intuition. When you come to the church, they call it what? What name do they give it in the church? Discernment. It's the same thing. Discernment and intuition, they are the same thing. The ability to listen to the spiritual direction, to discern, to listen to yourself spiritually. So the church calls it discernment. It's the same thing. Intuition and discernment, they are the same thing. When all this thing is done, you must learn to attend to your life issues with faith and trust. You must learn to attend to every issue in your life with faith and trust, knowing that your intuition, as I told you, even if I don't have what to talk about and it's day for live streaming, I'm not bothered, because I know once they will not fail, they will give me the directions. When I'm called to go and talk on the radio station, I don't think of what to say. I say, take stock of what to say, or Whatever when I brought before, okay, but the Spirit will speak to you. That is intuition. The Lord told Jeremiah, he said, think not of what to say when I brought before kings, for the Lord will speak to you, will teach you what to say. So for the Lord will teach you what to say. So if the Lord will teach you what to say, it is easy, because the Lord will not come and stand and speak for everybody to hear. He will teach you from within. So attend to your life issues, all the problems in your life and everything. Attend to it with faith, trust, and confidence, knowing that there is a reason for all that is happening. Knowing that there's a reason for all that is happening, and in the center and in the at the core of the reason is good and compassion. The core and the heart of whatever reason that is happening, with your ability to be receptive through intuition, you know that whatever is happening at the core and at the heart of it is good and compassionate. Let's turn our Bibles to Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Romans 8, 28. It says that, let's start from 27. It says, he that searches the heart knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. All things work together for good. That's what I'm saying, that attend to life issues with faith, trust, and confidence, knowing very well that there is a reason for all that is happening. And at the core and at the heart of this reason is always good and compassionate. All things work together for good to them that know their God, who are connected to their God. And when you're able to harness these things, you will get enormous benefits. But the most profound of all the benefits you have, living by your intuition, is one, you become very innovative. You would always find a new way of doing things because you receive direct information from inside. So you become very innovative. And look at the word. Innovate means to change something old to become new. And it starts with in, to go in to change the state of something. So we call it innovation or innovate. Innovate means to change something to become new. And in means to go in to change something to become new. An old thing to become new. So innovation, that is the first thing you will develop, or you have the ability to do. I'm just grouping them into major. I don't want to talk them because of time. But when we participate, those who are participating in personality class, they know all this I'm talking about. 2, you develop the ability to be inventive. You develop the ability of invention, or the ability to become inventive. We all know the meaning of the word vent. Vent means to bring out. So invent means to go in and bring out. To go in and bring out. So we call it inventive. And the third one is you develop inspiration. With intuition, you develop the ability to tap into inspirations. That's what the Bible was written by what? Inspiration of good and righteous men. So now you understand where the inspirations come and how they get the inspiration. Because it is only intuition that gives you the ability to tap into inspiration. And they said the Bible was written through inspiration by good and righteous men. And it also gives you the ability to be creative. To create, the ability to create. It gives you the ideas to create. Don't forget, the Bible says that, don't forget, it is I, God, that gives to men the ability to create. So, to receive from God the ability to create, you must be very, very receptive through intuition. You must be intuitively receptive. So when God is giving the information, giving the ability, giving the direction and tutelage to be creative, you will be able to receive it. To be able to do all these things, there's a requirement. And that requirement, if I don't read it, I've deceived you. We'll go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 19. We will draw our curtains on that for today's live session. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 19. It says that, am I second to that? It said, nevertheless, the foundations of God standeth sure. The foundation of divinity stands sure. No question about that. So those who doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in divinity, they think there's nothing in this life. Life is all about you die, you're gone, no reincarnation, nothing. When you die, you're dead. They are deceived. Nevertheless, the foundation of God stands sure, having this seal: the Lord knoweth them that is. The Lord knoweth them that are his. And let everyone that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity. Let everyone that says that I want to walk in the Christ, or I want to realize the Christ, depart from iniquity. Depart from wrongful lifestyle, unworthy life. And if you want to know the kind of iniquities that we need to depart from, we have to depart from the iniquities of the flesh. Because the spirit, which is the intuitive faculty, gives us a different experiences. And the flesh also draws us to a different field. So when you read Galatians chapter 5 verse 19, you see the iniquities that they are talking about there. Talks about the works of the flesh: covetousness, jealousy, bitterness, fornication, all those things. It said, for such things, go away from them. Because if you want to profess Christ and to realize that the Christ is in you, and to be able to harness your internal Christ energy, you have to depart from iniquity. And this is what they don't tell you. This is what the new age spiritual teachers won't tell you the truth. So you still be wallowing and be hearing all those sweet messages. You'll be hearing all those sweet talks about spirituality, transcendental meditation, be hearing this, and still you are wallowing in iniquity. So your energy is not able to ascend. Because iniquity is a weight for the ascension of the soul and the alignment of the personality. So you must learn that to everyone that nameth the name of Christ, if you want to have the name of Christ on you, that you have realized the Christ, you must depart from iniquity. You can never live in iniquity. You can never be covetous. You can never be adulterous. You can never engage in idolatry. And I know adultery and idolatry. You can now engage in those things and still think that you can name yourself as attaining the Christ. It's a lie. It's a lie. Because the Christ essence, which is the divine essence, has its own path. and it does not subject its will to the will of smaller energies or smaller entities. Well, it is the sublime energy in the whole of the cosmos, and it doesn't succumb its energy to smaller energies, which we call idols. Honi. So you cannot engage in those things and think that you follow the course of the path that leads to Christ realization. It is a lie. And you must depart from iniquity. You must depart from what? Iniquity. That is the truth. To be able to do all those things, to be able to harness your intuitive essence, you can't come to a personality class and think I'm going to go and live any life. No. Because that's the truth. I need to tell you the truth. And when you know the truth will set you free. Galatians chapter 5 verse 19. Now these are the works of the flesh, which are the works of iniquity. That 2 Timothy 2:19 is talking about. Is it 2 Timothy 2? Yeah, 2 Timothy 2:19. So Galatians 5:19 says that. And now these are the works of the flesh are made manifest, which are idolatry, fornication, uncleanness. And we made that one of the things you must always go through emotional, psychological, and physical cleansing. So uncleanliness blocks the ascension and the flow and the balance of your personality. That makes you be intuitively connected to your divine essence, which is the Christ within you. Now these are the works of the flesh are made manifest, and these are adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry. That means bakoye bosomsom and bakoye odi obi yire ana odi obi kun echi, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seduction, heresies, envy, murder, drunkenness, rebellions, and such like, of which I tell you before, and I have also told you in the time past, that which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And where is the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is within you. He said that let no man deceive you that the kingdom of God is here or there, for the kingdom of God is within you. And if you want to walk after the evil desires of the flesh, don't ever think for a microsecond that you can attain that kingdom of God, which is the Christ essence within you. It is not true. I have come to tell you nothing but the truth. If you take it in good faith, it's going to help you. If you don't want it and you don't take it, fine. I am free of the blood. I have told you that which you need to know. And today I think my mind is clear. And for all those who want to participate and want to now go into deep and learn the nitty-gritties and the practical know-how to be able to go through the steps to be able to attain this estate, you can send us that you want to participate in the workshop, the personality development workshop. You can send us that you want to participate in a personality development workshop. You just have workshop with your full name to workshop with your full name to 0243732861. We'll aid you through the process. People have gone through and they are doing extremely well. Now they are going to the model 2. Now that I'm shifting to the model 2, then I'll have some time to start this new class for the people who start with the model 1. So you send your information to. We started dispersing some of the letters already. We have up to the end of February to close and then to begin, but it's going to be on running classes. So you can send workshop with your full name to WhatsApp number 0243732861, and you would see the difference. It will save you. It saved me at the time in the valley of death just this Sunday. It saved me. If it is not for the divine grace that communicated to me through the intuition, I would not be sitting here today. Glory be to the sublime essence, sublime intelligent creator God. Glory be to his name. Glory be to the name of all the angels and all the entities in manifest creation on earth which are here to assist us. and all the spirits that are here to assist us, and all the deities. I thank all of them for my life. I've already thanked them again, but I'm taking this opportunity to thank them again. But the ultimately goes to God, the sublime, intelligent essence of all creation, from whom all things emanate, and unto him all things shall return, in different stages and in different dimensions. I'm very much grateful. And to your prayer and to your well wishes also contribute, because everything is energy. Your well wishes and your prayers and your desire to hear more truth also contributed. It's also energy. So I say thank you for your prayer, and you keep praying for us. We're also human beings. Okay, sometimes we will become fallible in some ways. So you keep praying. Some of your prayers also help us. Simple desire, simple wish of well-being to our soul also help us to keep us elated. Thank you so much for the time today. God bless you for everything. God bless you for your time. And as I said, now we are going to streamline our live sessions. We've come to the decision. So we are going to streamline our live sessions for only Wednesdays, so that we can make time on Saturdays for our upcoming personality development workshop. Okay? Because with the upcoming personality development workshop, it's not streaming live. It's because it's fee paid. It will not be streamed live. So we'll fix that time on Saturday. So we'll do our live streaming on Wednesdays, and then Saturdays will be designated for the personality development workshop. Now, on Fridays, we'll be having an open session. Okay, we'll be having an open session on our WhatsApp platform. Okay, and it's an open forum where people come to ask their questions. Every Fridays we will do that, and it's going to take maybe probably 2 hours from 8 to 10. Where 8, everybody has gotten, most people have gotten home, they've eaten and everything. So we're going to have that live session on WhatsApp. I'm going to call in, video call, and then all those that will be present will be asking their questions. We're going to have just a conversation. We may pick a topic, and then people will be asking questions, and then we'll be answering it. Others will bring their suggestion, their experiences, and what they've learned somewhere, and all those things. So together we'll be building ourselves. So that will be on Fridays, 8 to about 10 o'clock. 1.5 hours, but maximum 2 hours, depending on how things go. So Fridays we'll be having that one will be once a week. Then our live streaming will be on Wednesdays, same time, and then Saturdays will be designated for the upcoming personality development workshop. Thank you very much for your time, and God bless you. Stay blessed till we meet next Wednesday for our live session.